My name's Dennis with two N's. I live in Melbourne, Australia, and this is the view across Port Phillip Bay on a cold and windy autumn morning. Probably not the best morning to go for a ride. Melbourne, Port Phillip Bay can be beautiful and smooth, or it can be a bit choppy. I'm looking towards the city of Melbourne from Mordialloc at the moment. This is the Mordialloc Pier, and it's great. A lot of fishermen go out there, get a feed for the day, get a few flathead and a few snapper and some calamari. So if you come and visit Australia, it's worth the spot. I'll show you a little bit of Mordialloc as I ride back. Probably wasn't the best idea going for a bike ride on a morning like this, because those clouds are very ominous. This is Mordialloc Beach. It's always been a good beach, nice and wide, very busy in the summer. They have volleyball courts and things as well. They're always updating the facilities. There's the new toilet block. Very convenient, this convenience. Heading down now towards the Mordialloc Creek, which is where a lot of people tie up their older style boats, the old wooden ones, and very convenient when they want to go fishing. Just hop on and away you go. I'm heading now towards the Nepean Highway. There's these blue boats on the right hand side are hire boats. So if you're here visiting, morning, you can hire them and go fishing for a couple of hours. I'll go under the Nepean Highway. On the right hand side is Doyle's Bridge Hotel. It's pretty good. Good spot for a meal looking out over the river. Going under the Nepean Highway now. It's called Pompey's Bridge. As you can see straight ahead, they repair the boats here. The big one's been there for years and years. And the repair place is called Pompey's. And I'll show you a little bit of the main street of Mordialloc in the distance. This is Mordialloc. It's developed very well over the years, and very popular on weekends and sunny days. There's lots of kiosks and other kinds of shops there. You can go the other way now. So that's Mordialloc Main Street. Locals call it Mordi. So if you're visiting from overseas, this is about 20 k's round the bay from Melbourne. Morning. And yeah, well worth a visit. I'll go over the bridge now, and then I'll follow the Longbeach trail all the way back down to Carrum. I'll put a little map in to show you the route that I've taken. This is Pompey's Bridge. Over there is the Bridge Hotel. Nice spot. So just over the bridge you can turn left and go down onto a gravel trail. This is the beginning of the Longbeach Trail. As you can see, there's quite a few boats stored here. A lot of them have been there for a long, long time. All kinds of boats. Only smaller ones can go the other side of the bridge because of the height. You've got to watch it here. If you're riding a bike, it's very low. Even I have to duck my head, and I'm pretty short. I'm ducking now actually. Just rolling through. Yeah, you're right. Okay, along this trail, it follows the Mordialloc Creek for about 3 or 4 kilometres, and there's some nice spots. Like there's a bridge there that goes across, and it comes from the other side where the boat launching facility is, across to this side where the high school is, or as they call the college there. Hello, trees going down. Windy last night, I guess. The maintenance people will come along and remove that today, I should imagine. Yeah, so a lot of the school kids' parents park over the other side of that bridge, and the kids walk over the bridge to school. That's the back of Aspendale, which is a nice suburb along the edge of Port Phillip Bay. Morning. Lots of people walk their dogs along here. There's supposed to be leads on, but you know, a lot of people let them loose and let them have a bit of a run. As long as they're not going to rip your arms and legs off, it's alright. A little bit breezy this morning. The threatening inclement weather is not far away, I think. I'm hoping it'll be far enough away for me to get home. So I'm riding between Mordialloc and Carrum this morning. This is called the Longbeach Trail. It goes along out the back of Aspendale, and a bit further on we'll go past Edithvale, morning, and Chelsea Heights, and then we'll get down to Patterson Lakes on the Patterson River, which is the area that I live in. So there's a primary school there. It's getting towards late autumn in Melbourne, Australia, and a bit chilly. As you can see, I'm wearing my red gloves today, keep my fingers a bit warmer. Everybody's wearing coats. It's not cold compared to a lot of countries overseas, but it is for here. It's about morning. It's about 7 degrees this morning, and it'll get up to about 18 in Melbourne. Up the top end of Australia, where Cairns and Townsville are, it would be 23 degrees overnight and 30 degrees during the day, which is a really good spot to be in the winter. We have a caravan and we quite often head up that way over the winter, but not this year. We'll just do local journeys this year, which I'll do a few GoPro videos of, and show you what they're like. We might head over to the Barossa Valley. Barossa Valley is a good wine region, about 80 kilometres north of Adelaide. We'll head over there, have a look around. Good trail along here, it's nice and smooth. Morning.
Hi.
All kinds of people riding and walking. It's a nice, you know, you don't have to worry about security or anything in Australia. It's, everybody loves each other. Except for some people with vicious dogs. Not that many, very few. Morning. Yeah, at the back of Aspendale still, heading towards Edithvale. As you can see, there's a fair bit of water laying around. We've had a bit of heavy rain overnight. Very rarely does it rain all day in Melbourne. That's a golf course in there to the right. It's quite a few golf courses around Melbourne if you're a bit of a swinger. We've got golf clubs at home. We keep threatening to have a game, but we haven't got around to it yet. We take them with us when we go away in the caravan. Just take them for a nice ride. One of these days we'll have a game. Yeah, there's quite a lot of water laying around. As you can see, by we're not sort of bumping up and down a lot. The trail's pretty good. There's a lot of ducks in around the golf course and the lakes. This lake here is part of the wetlands that goes all the way through to Seaford, which is so the wetland itself is probably 10 kilometres long. It was a very popular spot with the original inhabitants of Australia, and while we're at it, I'd like to acknowledge the original custodians of this country. They did a wonderful job for 60-odd thousand years. The Boonwurrung people were the local people here. I believe they lived from Wilson's Promontory in South Gippsland through to Werribee on the other side of Melbourne. I'd like to acknowledge them. Morning. Yeah, later on they're talking about a referendum later this year to change our constitution to give Aboriginals a voice in Parliament. I don't quite know how it's going to work. They don't seem to be coming up with details, so we'll wait and see. I think it's a good idea, but I'll leave it open for my own decision as I get closer to the time. I think they deserve to have more say. This is Edithvale Road, and over the road there is the Edithvale Public Golf Course. Okay. They're always doing works on these paths and stuff, so they're repairing that a little bit there and probably bring it up to this sort of standard here. Not many on the golf course this morning. I think they're probably a bit worried about the clouds coming in. So I'll ride down here and I'll get down to the boardwalk at Patterson Lakes and ring my wife and see if she's gone for a walk down there. Maybe shout her a coffee. It's a pretty good spot to retire here. I'm 74. Morning. And yeah, it's lots of good facilities. I just do ordinary bike rides. I'm not a road warrior. I tend to ride around between 30 and 40 kilometres most mornings. Keeps my legs and my lungs and joints all going. And so the rides that I do are good for families as well. Or if you've just got a bike and you feel like going for a bit of a ride. They're all fairly flat. There's also the bike clubs that ride on the roads. I don't do that. I want to live a bit longer. I'll stay off the roads. Lots of people stop for a chat, as you can see. Why not? Good way to start the day. Morning. Lots of people walking their dogs. Morning. Yeah, nice dog, those little caboodles, I think they're called. Nice natured dogs. Some of the kids have set up a swing here, swinging from the trees. Morning. Lots of bike riders starting to get out now. Morning. Coming up now to Thames Promenade, which is Chelsea Heights. The trail continues over here and goes through Centennial Park, which has got all sorts of facilities for families, but all the crossings are good. Now, if you've got your kids with you, they're very safe. This one's got an automatic sensor. When you stop at the lights, it presses the button automatically. You don't have to press it. There's drinking fountains, and there's little bike repair stations along the way as well. It has spanners and pumps and all kinds of things, tyre levers if you need to change a tyre. It's really quite good. On the throughout this park there's athletic tracks, there's skateboard ramps with half pipes and all that kind of stuff. On the left over there is the athletics track. They'll run around, a few exercise bars, which is good if you want to do chin-ups and things like that, which I do occasionally. A bit cold this morning. With the threatening weather, I'll just head down towards Carrum, I think, this morning. See if I can catch up with my chickie babe. That's on the right hand side is the local netball courts and club rooms. A couple of our granddaughters play netball there, and they do mighty well. They win quite a few games. If you've got a dog, this area straight ahead of me there is it's an off-leash area. It's huge, so you can just let your dogs go and let them run and not worry about them. Morning. Yeah, it's a big area, so it's good to have somewhere where they can just run, frolic in the grass and stuff. In the spring, when it's magpie mating season, it's pretty scary along here because they nest up in those tall trees, and when you're riding past they swoop and peck the top of your helmet and all that sort of stuff. I got to admit, I do tend to avoid the scariest of the areas. This is a pony club. I think it's a Chelsea or Chelsea Heights Pony Club. Morning. Yeah, so they've built all these dressage areas and all their horses there. Good morning. This is their club rooms. Yeah, so it's the Chelsea Pony Club, not the Chelsea Heights. So the sun's starting to peek through now a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. It's late autumn, so you've got to expect it to be pretty cool in Melbourne, because we're right down on the bottom end of Australia before you go across Bass Strait to Tasmania. G'day mate, you bogged?
No. Someone's in there.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, mate.
No worries. There's a ute inside there. I thought he might have been bogged, but he's not. In Australia, it's courtesy to offer help to people. I don't know about overseas. I guess it's probably the same. Morning. Heading down now towards the Patterson River, passing the Centennial Park golf course, I think it's called. It's quite a good course, quite a big one, and it runs from Station Street, which is up near the beach, down to here, which is probably 3 or 4 kilometres down. All these tanks are for watering the lawns and stuff. So we're in a lower spot here, which is part of the wetlands. That promotes all the ducks and the wildlife around the area, which is good. Go up the embankment now, up onto the trail along the Patterson River. Bit of an uphill, get the lungs working. No, the tide's well in today, so it's water's quite high. It's a tidal because it flows out onto Port Phillip Bay. It's a good trail along here. They built it all up many years ago. My dad used to live over here on the right hand side back in 1934, and he was saying that there was a big flood back then, and they had smaller embankments then to stop the water, and they got breached and it flooded from here all the way over to the Dandenong Ranges. Morning. And they had to build them up higher and more sturdy. I guess when they were built in the old days, they were just colonial kind of stuff. Some nice houses along on the right hand side. Good spot to live, nice view. Not many people out fishing this time of year, there's not much around. You always get a feed of flathead, which are good eating. They're not big ones in the bay, they're big enough to keep just. You end up throwing probably about 80% back into the water because they're too small. Morning. Bloke on a paddleboard out on the river. I've got one. I've only ever tried it once. Went arse over head after about 3 seconds. Got up, had another go, same again. Got up, had another go, lasted about 10 seconds. So next summer I'll do more of it. Morning. Lots of fishermen along the river. So coming up now to the bridge that crosses over at Station Street. and then there's the railway line, and then there's Nepean Highway, all running parallel with each other. It's a nice easy ride up here. I keep my pedal assist turned down really low because half the idea is to get a workout as well. A lot of people don't. They've just redone all the stations around Melbourne to do away with the train crossings holding up all the traffic, because they're increasing the number of trains all the time. At the moment they run about every 8 minutes. I believe they're planning on running them every 2 or 3 minutes. This is the mouth of the Patterson River. Some nice artwork they've done here. It's pretty special. It's done really well. Discourages graffiti people too. So I'm heading east now, back along this on the southern side of the Patterson River. I'll ride along the top and maybe come across Mary. She'd be walking home, I think. Morning. You can ride on the lower part, or you can ride on the top part like I'm doing now. It's nice over here. There's lots of picnic areas and barbecues. We used to live over on the right hand side in one of those streets, and we'd come down here in warm afternoons and morning, and we'd have a glass of wine and some bickies and cheese and just generally have a good time. Anyway, we decided to downsize into a unit because the house we had was going to require a lot of maintenance over time. So we made a big decision and we moved further down towards Patterson Lakes shopping area. Lots of birds hanging around. It's a good spot on the right hand side to live. We almost bought a unit right here, but somebody beat us to it. We're glad now. We like the one we're in. Morning. Yeah, we like the unit that we're living in. It's a big car park here. Holds a few hundred cars and boat trailers. Either end of the car park there's toilet facilities, and behind these ones is fish cleaning place. This is one of the canals. If you look up there, you see the Patterson River runs all the way up there, runs up to Wells Road. This is one of the canals that goes in around the housing estate. A bit nice. It's alright if you've got a couple of $1 million to buy a house there, probably closer to $3 million now. This is the big green shed I was pointing out from the other side. They store, I don't know, I reckon at least 200 boats in there of all sizes. There's larger cabin cruisers and there's smaller speedboats and things. It's rubbish bin day, as you can tell. This is the entry point for the places that are back onto the canals. On the left is a swim school. All the little kids go in there and learn how to swim. And riding through the car park now of the Cove Hotel. It's if you're in Melbourne and you're down this way, drop in there and have a meal. Really good. We've got a sports bar and we've got a dining area overlooking the water. Worth a look.